Hello and welcome once again to Hude Hour right here on Hude Network, where we take a look at issues within humanitarian and development space. As always, we have a lot in store for you today. We do want to ensure we bring positive change. I am Amadine Obewe. Welcome.
And I'm Hannah Omokafe Dennis. Lovely to be here.
Hello, Hannah. How you doing?
Hi, Amadi. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Once again, we're here. On a bit of a happier note this time, because what we're talking about has to do with something that brings joy
Money?
to people,
Yes.
and also economic aspect as
Yes.
well. So the balancing and ensuring that while doing this, it's ethical, which takes me straight into it. We're talking about ethical tourism today and how it scales in real life. Now, ethical tourism isn't just about taking pictures and leaving footprints. It's about traveling in ways that respect local people, protect heritage, and boost community incomes.
But in many tourist hotspots across Africa, locals often get the short end of the stick, watching their culture packaged for profits while struggling to make a living from the very industry that surrounds them.
In this episode, we take a look at how ethical tourism models are reshaping the industry, creating fair jobs, preserving traditions, and making sure communities benefit from the beauty they share with the world. But before that, let's take a look at our headlines. For the first one we have, report says global travel shifting toward community impact and cultural preservation. Next, we have tour operators bans animal rides at Giza pyramids. But that's all we'll take before the break. When we return, Hude Hour continues. Don't go anywhere. Now, the global tourism sector is clearly rebounding. In the first quarter of 2025 alone, international tourist arrival grew by 5% compared to the same period last year, even surpassing pre-pandemic levels by 3%.
That's right, Amadi. And even Africa eventually led that growth with a 9% increase in tourist arrivals compared to early 2024. And that's not just numbers, it's jobs, it's income and opportunities, especially in communities that depend heavily on tourism for survival.
Exactly. But the real win comes when that growth is sustainable, when tourism spending projects local culture, boosts small businesses, and supports the very people who make a destination unique. In 2024, tourism accounted for 10% of the global economy, contributing $10.9 trillion to global GDP. The sector supported 357 million jobs worldwide, approximately 1 in every 10 jobs, highlighting its central role in the labor market. After the break, we will be taking a look at how ethical tourism models can do just that. Don't go anywhere. So our first news item, a global transformation is redefining travel, with ethical and responsible tourism emerging as the fastest growing trend in the industry. From Europe to Africa and the Americas, travelers are increasingly seeking experiences that go beyond issue, favoring trips that protect the environment, uplift local communities, and preserve cultural heritage. According to a new report by Future Market Insights, the responsible tourism market is projected to grow from $250.1 billion to in 2025, pardon me, to 417.3 billion by 2035, reflecting a 5.8% compound annual growth rate. The surge is driven by rising global awareness of sustainability, climate action, and the social impact of travel choice. Africa is among the standout regions, not only showing strong inbound tourism growth, but also embracing community-based tourism models that channel income directly to local guides, artisans, and conservation projects. Kenya and South Africa, for instance, are investing heavily in ecotourism, in the infrastructure that empowers local residents while preserving biodiversity. The shift is forcing a rethinking of the industry, from eco-friendly accommodations to low-impact travel itineraries. Businesses are responding to demand for purpose-driven experiences. Digital tools such as sustainability rating platforms and AI-powered carbon calculators are also making it easier for travelers to verify ethical practices and make informed choices. However, Future Market Insights notes that key challenges that may slow momentum, pardon me, these include a lack of university sustainability standards, the rise of greenwashing, underfunding of grassroots operation, and the high cost of implementing green infrastructure, particularly in low-income regions. So the message is clear. Responsible tourism is no longer a niche. It is a global movement, reshaping the future of travel, prioritizing people, planet, and purpose over profit alone. Well, I think it's a great story there as it exemplifies what's being done and the possible future for responsible tourism. Why it's important is that, like we normally say, sometimes the morality of a thing is not enough for people to key into it.
Yes.
They have to know that it's economically viable and all such things. And that is where we see here now that this, what we're saying, it's how the projections are being made, that it's enough for those who are interested or who've had minor interest to now say, you know what, maybe it's time I go all in. And why it's important, again, is that this phenomenon that is touted to grow in the next 10 years, it's already ethical. Yeah. And that's an issue people tend to have, that, well, if I want to make money, I can't be ethical. If I'm ethical, I can't find any gain in it. But this shows that doing things and doing this properly will lead you to, more opportunities and allowing more people come in and be a part of your sites and your culture, wanting them to participate. And then you might even have soft power when you are able to have this sort of media power, coverage, so to speak, over others. Yeah. So it's an interesting one. I do hope to see how it progresses. The numbers are there from about 200 to about 400 billion within a couple of years. It's amazing. And I think it shows people that, like the story says, we're prioritizing our people, our planet, and our purpose over profit.
Yes. I particularly like the fact that tourism alone contributed 10% of the overall GDP for the world in 2024, saying that Africa has a lot of tourist sites. We have UNESCO heritage sites scattered all across Africa. If we can bring, ensuring that tourism becomes people's mandate, ensuring that it is coming from the people's interest, that when this thing is coming, when people are coming to our country, they are not just coming to pay the people who are going to take them around our own community, but that money that is coming in is also coming to ensure that our society is becoming better, contributing to the conservative side. The people who are in that community know that, okay, this white man, this white woman, or even the black people themselves that are coming from different countries that are coming to our country, it is bringing economic benefits, it is bringing social benefits, it is bringing all-round benefits to our society, our environment. And these people are coming not just to, destroy our plants or even take our animals away, but our animals are going to be sustained in ways that they will keep on growing and increasing, and they will not become, should I say, they will not lose they will not become extinct in our environment. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, basically it should be done ethically, so to speak.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go on a quick break now. When we return, we'll delve into our next news item. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Now, Mokafe will take the next one.
We're still on tourism. In a landmark move for ethical tourism, Timbuktu Travel, South Africa's leading tour operator, has officially banned all tours involving animal rights at Egypt's Pyramid of Giza. The decision followed a shocking undercover investigation by PETA Asia, which exposed disturbing acts of animal cruelty at the iconic site. The investigation, carried out over several weeks, revealed footage of camels and horses being abused, overworked in sweltering heat, and ultimately slaughtered when no longer deemed useful, sometimes while still conscious. The global outcry that followed has intensified calls for reform in tourism practices that exploit animals. Timbuktu Travel responded swiftly by removing all related activities from its travel offerings and websites. The company also pledged to only promote experiences that meet high animal welfare standards, aligning with its broader commitment to responsible and sustainable tourism. As more travelers demand humane and ethical options, Timbuktu Travel stance is expected to influence the broader industry. Advocates hope this move will inspire other operators to eliminate exploitative practices and ensure tourism becomes a force for good, not just for people and places, but for animals too. You know, earlier when we started, we said today is a good news. Today's Hude Hour is positive because everywhere and every story that we get to take is showing how people are being placed at the center. But this time around, not just people alone, but animals, the planet, even plants too are considered in this place because they are also tourism sites to behold. And Timbuktu is, should I say, a company or a tour operation organization to be followed. In 2024, they were the #1 world tour operation, and to say that their leader, the leader of the tourism department in the entire world, is doing something that says the horses are not going to be beating on their testicles again. The camels or whatever it is that is being used to take people around the pyramids of Giza, which is one of UNESCO's World Heritage Sites, are not going to be, should I say, thrown or abandoned on the way, despite the hard work they get to do and the revenue they bring into that particular state. We're going to become ethical about it. That's amazing. And they did not just go about, should I say, reducing the work that the horses do or that the amount of people or loads the camels get to carry, but they went ahead to remove it totally. So these horses, these camels are going to see a lot of rest. They are going to experience a lot of rest, and they will actually understand that, okay, they are being cared for. And this is in line with SDG 4 quality health, which ensures that not just human beings alone enjoy quality health, but animals too enjoy quality health. We also have SDG 13, which says zero animal exploitation. So animals are not just going to be worked and the owners getting so much money and yet they are not being treated properly. But even if this Timbuktu tour organization gets to bring these horses and these camels or whatever animals that are being used to take people around should I say, the Egypt's pyramid again, they're going to ensure that they are treated well, that even the people who get to employ them to take them around, they will give them guidelines, they'll give them rules that this is what you're supposed to do with the animals. You're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that, and this will ensure their longevity, this will ensure that they don't go into extinction. So it's a good one. Yeah.
Indeed. And you know, sometimes people forget that animals also matter, and there's always an ethical way to do things. That is the bottom line of this, because even things like hunting, you know, you hear of ethical hunting and all of that, where you shouldn't target the juveniles or the babies of a species, things like that. Similarly, when we talk about using animals for these sort of things, there's still a sustainable, ethical way to do that. Not to the point where because they are starving or they start going down or they are being beaten regularly. It's unnecessary at the end of the day. And I think, again, what I'll just land on is that there are ethical ways to do everything. So even if something involves animals, perhaps as part of understanding what the ambience of the culture is, camels and the likes, you still owe it to the culture and perhaps even the people to do it in a way that is sustainable, in a way that is not alienating. Because at the end of the day, others who are interested will likely have this ethical idea and not want to come and ruin things. So don't be that first person who is causing a domino effect of poor handling of animals or seeing them as not worthy of being given some level of concern.
Yes.
So that's how we round off that segment on the program. We will go on a break now. When we return, we'll be joined by a guest talking about archaeologist and tourism professional Martilda Chineke. She will join us to break down issues today on ethical tourism. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Every day, amazing stories of hope and tenacity unfold across the globe. On Hude Hour, we dive into these inspiring tales and discuss the vital work being done in the humanitarian and development space. Humanity has never faced a shortage of challenges, yet we rise stronger through teamwork and determination. Though these remedies are often underreported, on Hude Hour, we advocate sustainable solutions. We bring you the latest and most impactful news on how lives are being changed. We engage with young change makers and experts who provide valuable insights into relief efforts and the challenges faced by local communities through a global perspective. Join us every Wednesday by 8 a.m. on Hude Network's YouTube channel as we embark on this journey of positive change.
Culture connects us beyond borders. It's a bridge between traditions, creativity, and the future.
Culture is alive, shaping identities and communities every day.
Art tells stories of resilience and vision.
Artists blend tradition with innovation.
Cultural preservation creates sustainability and empowerment.
Culture evolves and adapts.
Music and dance unites communities through movement.
And right here, in the heart of our cities, artists and creators are keeping these cultures alive.
On Culture Cove, let's explore,
celebrate,
and preserve the arts and culture that define us. Welcome back. We've been joined now by archaeologist and tourism professional Chidimma Martilda Chineke. Welcome to the program. How are you doing?
Thank you for
It's good to
having
have
me.
you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So basically, we've been talking about ethical tourism, and we want to enlighten people. So, in the reality of it, how does it display when it comes to actual practice? What does it entail?
Tourism, for me, is the tourism that upholds equity, integrity, sustainability. In practice, it's about incorporating the host community, not just as the host community now, but as co-creators of the travel experience. It means fair pay for artisans, showcasing heritage with consent, the word there, consent, promoting eco-conscious practices, as well as making sure that tourism doesn't erode but enrich local identity.
Fair enough.
Yes, sir. So when we were listing some of the headlines that we did, we had mentioned in one of the stories that Kenya and also Egypt, where the pyramids, the Giza is located at, they tried to infuse the community in everything that tourism and also the tourists that get to come into. So my question simply is, have you ever had any tourism initiative that looked at how they could incorporate the local community with the job that the tourism center or the tourist organization intends to do?
I have. During my time as a core member, I worked with Cyprian Center for Art and Culture. I worked with the tourism department, and they were in charge of curating cultural events from the grassroots, where we brought tourists face to face with local creators like bead makers, dancers, musicians. So we created a platform for them to, showcase their talents, tell their story. It was an avenue to earn, but they were not just only we're not just only giving them visibility, but we're giving them an opportunity to voice their story as well as earn. Let me put it that way. So yes, I have worked with such. So it's really nice because, out there, instead of, getting souvenirs ourselves, how they do it, manufacture souvenirs. We had to engage the local artisans to do it. That way they're able to tell their story their own way. So yes.
That's very beautiful.
Right. Taking a note or taking an example from the Igun Street in Edo State, where the bronze works are made. One of the complaints or issues we've heard from the broadcasters is that when these things are bought off them and then they are sold to perhaps the tourists directly somewhere else at much more higher prices. Yes. So how do we ensure that the owners themselves are fully part of this process, where whatever profits, whatever economic value goes directly to them, and the middleman, so to speak, doesn't hinder that process?
I would say this is possible when tourism is involved or started from the grassroots. In the key distributors of tourism attraction, the host community is indispensable. When I mean indispensable, investors can come and go, stakeholders can come and go, but the host community having the attraction, you can't do without them. They are the owners of that attraction. So it is important for tourism or business operators to involve the host community, probably through community consultation, stakeholding equities. You tell these people that you want them to be involved, to be partakers, because ownership is not just going to be, you're just going to say these people are the owners, It has to be visible in branding, in revenue sharing. These are ways where you involve the grassroots. So it's important that tour operators take the tourism planning back to the grassroots. You involve them. They should be consulted because they know these things more than you do. You're just investors, your business, and you might be there for the profits, but it is their identity. So it's important that you involve the grassroots, which is now the local communities. Yeah. Thank you.
So I would like to further ask, while you mentioned earlier, while you were answering one of the questions, that you went on a tour, tourism engagements with an organization, Cyprian Quincy, right? And you said that you had involved the local community in some of the things that you had done to ensure that there was a merging, or should I say a merger between your organization and also the people that own the community for, the importance, for them to feel important. So I want to ask, was there a particular mistake that you people had done, very innocently, and also not just for that particular event or tour, but other ones that you must have joined in? Was there a mistake you did that it was like, no, these people, they don't like it, they don't want this, it's a very big taboo in their community?
Well, it's not just a mistake we did, it's a mistake we see these days in the tourism industry. First of all, there is the one we call tokenism.
Okay.
It's a situation where you showcase culture out of context or without consent. We here in Abuja, you will see somebody showcasing or telling a story about the Orioka masquerade in Enugu. There are some, in Nsukka to be precisely, there are some details that those owners of the culture would not want out there in the public. These details are sacred or they are intimate just to them. So as a tourism operator, these are things you should ask. When you've involved the local community when doing this, they will let you know these are the things you put out there, these are the things you shouldn't put out there. So that's a mistake. Then we have externalization of profits. This is where tourism operators make revenue solely for the investors and not for the host community. And we were able to realize that, and that was why we didn't go out to purchase these crafts to sell to the tourists we got. Rather, we involved the local creators, the makers of it, for them to tell their story their own way. Then there's also, will I call it, what should I call it now? There's a word I need to describe it, but this has to do with where sacred aspects of culture is being put out there. When I say sacred, currently many people feel tourism is just all about luxury. You go experience this and come out. Somewhere like there's a cave, Obunike Cave in Anambra, you should have heard of it. When you're in your period, you can't go in. When somebody is selling such a site for tourists in the diaspora, they might not want to mention this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you understand what I mean.
Yes.
They will not, they feel maybe the stereotype behind you're in your period, you can't go in when you come at this. But when you get there, it's something the people there will tell you, this is our culture. You can't go in when you're like this as a woman. You can't go in if you've committed abortion 3 months prior to visiting. All these things are things you consider. Because if you don't do it, this is now a mistake on your own part as a business person in the tourism industry. So you try your best to make sure you do your necessary assignment, your due diligence to avoid these mistakes, because some might be costly. So, yeah.
All right. So let's talk about what some has been termed over tourism now. Recently in Barcelona and some other places in Europe, there have been protests about that tourism is becoming excessive. The protests range from different angles, where sometimes people say resources are being overused. There's much more traffic now because people are always here. Different kinds of complaints. How can this be avoided, to ensure that the people who are there, now we're not even talking about those who are part of the tourist process, trying to make the visitors feel safe. Just regular people living their lives who are now being affected as a result of tourism activities. How do we find a balance to ensure that those people's thoughts and concerns are taken into account, while also ensuring tourism goes on?
It's important to note that when it comes to cultural aspect of marketing tourism, allow the local community to sell rather than run a scripted market for the host community. Why do I say this? Balancing over tourism, tourism commodification and the rest, it's a delicate skill, but it's one that is not difficult. Why do I say this? First, we need to choose quality over quantity. The fewer the guests, the more meaningful the experience. So for instance, let me not even go too far. This Obunike I'm talking about, there's what they call the peak period, there's what they call the festive period, there's what they call the season. For instance, this rainy season now, because it's a cave, it has the river and everything, there are limits now to people who go in. That doesn't mean they don't want the money. That doesn't mean they don't want to sell. But due to the fact that they've done their assignments, they've taken certain things into consideration. That way, now they ration the movement and the inflow of people at that particular point in time. Then at the peak period, it is open to all. So it's more about regulating how people troop into a place, more like considering, like I said, quality over quantity. Yeah, and in tourism, there's what we call, there's the model used in measuring these things. You know, when you get to a location, you'll be able to tell how many people can go into this particular place at a particular point in time. That way, it will help you to regulate it, because overcrowding can even lead to destruction of certain sites. So these are things you need to consider when doing that.
Fair enough.
You know, technology is spreading everywhere now.
Of course.
And these days we have something called artificial intelligence. And a lot of people have fears. You know, as much as there's the positive side of it, there is also the negative side of it. Do you think that infusing AI and technology would be able to ensure that ethical tourism is practiced rather than destroyed completely?
No, I don't think that. You know, technology is a great boost for tourism when used ethically. Technology is. Currently, I had the opportunity of working with Capricorn Concierge Tourism Services here in Abuja. He's based in Ibadan, but now he brought it down to Abuja. He's into virtual tour. Yeah, he, you know, goes to sites, record them and bring them, sell them visually. This way, the site is preserved. Let me say it that way. The site is preserved, but people get to experience it from the comfort of their house, from wherever they are. You get to, you know, see what, for instance, if he's making a package for Zumarok, you don't need to go to Zumarok due to certain reasons, let's say security reasons, and you don't need to go there. But with the aid of the virtual gadgets, you could see what Zumarok is like. You could experience it. So that way now it has boosted the tourism of that aspect, you know. So tourism is a key. Technology plays a great role. It does play a great role in boosting tourism. It does, especially when used ethically.
Indeed. Indeed. So just to round up now, what would policies or recommendations do you expect from, or do you have for the government to ensure that this is really tapped into? One of the things we talked about already is the potential for ethical tourism. About billions or if not millions of dollars are, you know, ready to be made with proper ethical tourism. So what are those things that can be put in place to ensure, to make things much more easy to succeed?
First of all, I would say amplifying artisans. Let me put it that way, because you can't talk about artisans without considering the host community. Most times, the problem we have here is whenever tourism wants to sell, the investors look more into their investments than the host community. So if the government is to amplify artisans, you know, this craft will go out. I was surprised when I heard that we import certain woodworks when we have sculptures, people that can do it, even from the comfort of they are skilled in doing it. Why go that far? Why spend so much money? Why not build and develop the skills of these our locals around us? We have bead makers. Why not provide them with the necessary machineries they need to produce and, you know, sell? It's very important. So first of all, we need to amplify artisans. Then there's the empowerment scheme, although that is already going on because there's no local government going in Nigeria. You don't hear about empowerment scheme. So this goes down to empowering both youth and women now, because it helps to change power dynamics. Let me put it that way. Because when the youths have tour packages that are being run by the youths, the women have something doing. Interestingly, I had the Marcia women in, you know, the Marcia tribe in this. I heard that they run ecologists now. The women only run ecologists for tourism. So let's say, take, for instance, somewhere in Buari, we have, will I say, an organization where women run pottery classes or pottery exhibition. This is where women come, make pots, design them, sell them. They're on display. People come and patronize them. These are things the government needs to key into. We have a lot of skilled individuals in Nigeria, both men and women, including youths. There are a lot of skilled individuals. So when we key into these things, empowering our artisans, because our culture in a way is dying. It is. So these are things we need to look into.
For giving us your thoughts today and breaking it down. Thank you. All right, that's how we round off this segment of the program. We'll go on a break. When we return, we'll delve into our Verified Voices segment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Every day, amazing stories of hope and tenacity unfold across the globe. On Hude Hour, we dive into these inspiring tales and discuss the vital work being done in the humanitarian and development space. Humanity has never faced a shortage of challenges, yet we rise stronger through teamwork and determination. Though these remedies are often underreported, on Hude Hour, we advocate sustainable solutions. We bring you the latest and most impactful news on how lives are being changed. We engage with young change makers and experts who provide valuable insights into relief efforts and the challenges faced by local communities through a global perspective. Join us every Wednesday by 8 a.m. on Hude Network's YouTube channel as we embark on this journey of positive change.
Culture connects us beyond borders. It's a bridge between traditions, creativity, and the future.
Culture is alive, shaping identities and communities every day.
Art tells stories of resilience and vision.
Artists blend tradition with innovation.
Cultural preservation creates sustainability and empowerment.
Culture evolves and adapts.
Music and dance unites communities through movement.
And right here, in the heart of our cities, artists and creators are keeping these cultures alive.
On Culture Cove, let's explore,
Celebrate
and preserve the arts and culture that define us. Welcome back. Now it's time for our Verified Voices. We've been joined now by Paul Oladipupo. Hello, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, I'm Madin. Hi, I'm Okafe. How are you guys doing today?
I'm
We're
fine.
good, we're good. What do you have for us today?
Well, I have a very interesting segment of this particular topic that's it's very interesting to me, and that's the economic side. Looking at it deeper, we're looking at our verified voices. Quickly, let's take a look at our verified voices and see what our verified voices are saying today on this topic, ethical tourism. First up, we have one from UNDP Malaysia. The conference highlighted how community-based tourism, CBT, are preserving culture, nature, and tradition through tourism while advancing livelihood through hashtag good governance, hashtag sustainable tourism. I think this is just important to note how, it's very important for us to get to know the fact that, tourism helps communities, it helps in preserving cultures, because all of these things that are usually used, that tourists come and visit, that even locals as well comes to visit, they are usually maintained. And with that, there's usually advancement in it as time goes on. In somewhere here in Nigeria, in Abeokuta, a place like Olumo Rock, for example, that's another tourist destination in Abeokuta. And over the years, they've they've been trying to maintain it to ensure that it's still a place where people want to come and visit. Trying to make the place more accessible for people, and that's what we're talking about. Usually, it helps to sustain traditions, the culture. It also helps to sustain the stories as well. I know that stories, oral tradition is one thing that sometimes can fade off if it's not being passed on from generation to generation. But with tourism, we can always still have all of these traditions in our midst.
Indeed. Yes, we see the way it is almost also about preserving culture while making a living for those who are right there in the center of these communities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when it comes to community-based tourism, it means that when the community are happy, it means that the tourists who also come to visit are happy. So you have to ensure that the community are involved in whatever thing those tourists you're bringing to your community are coming to do, and everywhere would be smooth.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, before you pack your bags on your next tourist destination, let's see what our World Bank is saying. This says that tourism is a key driver for economic growth, contributing $10.9 trillion to global GDP and 357 million jobs in 2024. The World Bank supports countries in managing tourism sustainably to maximize impact, expand local opportunities, and drive inclusion. And then there's an infographics there that says that 1 in 10 jobs worldwide came from the tourism industry in 2024 alone. And it's very interesting to see how, the tourism industry can actually contribute to the GDP of countries. Places like the Maldives, Celsius, and a few other islands like that usually have so much of their GDP attributed to tourism. And that's because, when tourists are coming, they don't just come with their bags and their clothes and their cameras. They also come with their money and invest their money in the economies of these places that they go to visit. Talking about food, transportation, hotel that they booked and things like that. Usually there is a lot of money that goes into this economy. And not just that, and the interesting thing is how it also provides jobs for people, especially for locals. It provides jobs for people, both those that tour guides, talking about waiters and waitress and the like. The list just goes on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. For me, it really exemplifies the economic aspect of this. Jobs are being created, revenue is being generated, money is being made. And I think that's one of the things that will ensure that other communities who have very sellable cultures or perhaps aspects of the culture that they're okay with sharing with the world, take more interest in it, build on it, and get that revenue. More money has been projected to be made. You might as well be a part of it and key into it.
Tourism alone contributed 10% to the entire GDP
Indeed.
of the world in 2024. And an African country, Kenya, is trying to see how local communities themselves can
Indeed.
be the ones who are responsible for earning this money. So if you're coming to my country to come and see the lions, to come and see the caves, to come and see the mountains, well, let me, who belongs to that particular community, be the one to show you around professionally, of course.
Indeed.
Well, it's very interesting to you. I know you were mentioning some little countries, here in the developing countries and all of that. But even countries like the USA and also Spain also have a number of revenue when it comes to tourism. But let's take a look at our last tweet quickly from the World Economic Forum. This says that tourism faces complex challenges and significant opportunities. A new report looks at how destinations can create a future that support visitors, businesses, and communities. And then this goes on to to list about 10 factors that shape the world of tourism. I'm talking about evolving traveling profiles, expansion of high values segments, and technology as a key enabler. And I think that's one thing that we should really talking about technology and how it has helped. People don't, from the comfort of their houses, they know where they are going to, they know how much they need to spend and things like that, and are not even surprised with the with bills that comes with it. And that's how much technology has come to play in the world of tourism. And then there's still a long list about the labor and also skills shortage. So we should be looking at upscaling and looking at how to localize that. So it goes on to say limited local capacity. That's to tell you that there are some locals in all of these tourist destinations where they are still lacking some things. I know of an event that usually in that particular town, all of the hotels are usually booked, and people will have to go to probably 2 towns away to have their night rest and then come back again for that particular event. And that just breaks things down on how locals can actually benefit from the world of tourism.
Indeed. I think you've broken it down quite accurately. We've run out of time now. I wish we could take more. Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much for having me, Amadine. It's been a very lovely episode talking about ethical tourism. And I hope we pack our bags and let's go on the next trip.
All right, then we'll be sure to do that.
Yeah, sure.
See you next time. Bye for now. This has been Hude Hour right here on Hude Network. Every Wednesday, 8 a.m., we do come directly to you. Bye for now. I am Amadine Ubewe.
And I'm Hannah Omokafe Dennis. Have a lovely, culturally preserved tourist experience.